This story starts off where Deadpool and Weasel are talking about. It seems like Tolliver died in the last series, the last story arc. So they're talking about Tolliver had a will, and they're arguing about if they should, if they're both trying to go after it, right? So if they should just team up. And as they have this argument, we get introduced to Weapon X. Weapon X shows up, aka Kane. He's dating this mutant named Vanessa, aka Copycat, which was Deadpool's ex-girlfriend, and he's also after her, trying to win her back. So they kind of have a little conflict where they're fighting each other over her. And at the same time that this is going on, we jump into this situation where a bunch of other people are looking for this will of Tolliver's. But it turned out he created this weapon, this weapon that everybody wants. They're like, oh, they supposedly whoever gets this weapon could take over the world, right? They'll win any battle because they'll have the biggest gun, right? So we jump into this guy Nyko. He's trying to pass this disc along, sneak it to somebody. These ninjas come after him. He's a Wolverine lookalike to the fullest. It's very obvious, but he carries big guns. He could take care of himself. Then we jump into this other guy. Then now he's carrying the disc with all the info, and now everybody's after him. So now that everybody's after him, Deadpool finds out he has the disc and he protects them, but not because he wants to, because he wants that disc. So it's like a total free for all for this disc right now. It's almost like think Amazing Race. Everybody's trying to get to the end first and so forth. Everybody stepping over each other's toes. Now we get into these two other little side stories. One includes Vanessa with Sluggo, who we believe he was sent to kill Vanessa, and we believe he had got killed in the last story arc on X Force. Turns out he's still alive. And she was in that last story arc, she was very much a victim, inexperienced, didn't know how to protect herself, even though she had mutant powers. Here, when Sluggo shows up, she's a complete opposite. She came out kind of as a badass. She's intimidating him, even though he's much bigger and stronger. She's using her technique and, and strategizing and so forth, her cunningness, if you will. She's hanging this guy, almost lynching him. Shit was crazy right there. Then she just tosses him through the wall. When she tosses him through the wall, she says, well, now I'm going to have you arrested for trespassing because you broke into my house. I thought that shit was badass. It showed her very empowered, very strong. It's good to see her that way because I was kind of tired of seeing her just like as a victim. And Sluggo tells her, look, everyone's after you. And he's telling her, I'm here to warn you. Everyone's after you and Deadpool because Oliver passed away and left a will. And everybody thinks that you two are the ones with the information, knowing where it's at, where this disc or where this weapon is at. And she's like, I know nothing about this. People don't know that. They think that you do know. So they're coming after you. So now there, another person that joins the race is them. And we jump to this guy, this new character at this time, Slayback. He looks very menacing. He's walking on in a trench coat. Then when you see his face, he looks wicked. Reminds me of Iron Maiden back in the days. And he's sent to capture Vanessa and Deadpool because he's sent to come after this will or the weapon. And he looks kind of badass. He's clearly the villain. There's nothing nice about him. Everybody else comes off as just like out for themselves, but he comes off as a clear villain in the story just by looking at him. Yup, I'm just profiling, based on appearance. Sometimes we gotta do that. This guy, if I see this guy, I will cross the street to the other side. Just saying. Now we got Deadpool. Now that he has this disc, he's about to board this plane, and you got Juggernaut and Black Tom Cassidy. At this time, they were really close. They were like a ultimate team, and he sees them and he knows they want the disc, so he gets in a little scrap with them, throws Black Tom off the plane, and then it's funny because Juggernaut jumps off the plane after him to catch him. Like Juggernaut can't fly, so what the hell's he doing jumping off the plane? So, anyways, they're both off the plane. I basically Juggernaut just committed suicide, I guess. He's clearly gonna live. He can fall from wherever. He's indestructible. But it was just funny that he jumped after him without thinking twice when he doesn't have the ability to fly. So once Deadpool lands, we get these B-list characters, Comcast, and the team is called the Elite. And at this time, Deadpool's fairly new, so are these characters. He's barely been around maybe a year at this point. And these characters, one of them, they shock him, they electrocute him, they catch him slipping, and they bring him in. Now, when they bring him in, they put this device because he won't tell them where the disc is at, even though he's holding it, to read his mind. And what they read in his mind is the past. They go way back to when he was human, and they go way back to when Copycat, she was just a normal. She looks like a normal human, and he looks normal. And they go, "Wow, you two go way back to like so back when they were younger and they didn't have all this baggage." And they find out in his psyche that he had cancer, he was gonna die, so they experimented on him. And it brings up the question of how the fuck does the government have a cure for cancer and they don't tell the public about it, right? They clearly saved Deadpool's life. And at this point, it hasn't been told to us that Deadpool's all deformed. It came with a price, right? He didn't just get cured of cancer and get all these powers of healing. It came with a price. He looks like shit and he has all these issues. He's not right in the head anymore. He's kind of out of it. Copycat now goes to this office with this new info she got, pulls out a strap right in the face of this guy to get information about where's this disc, who has it, and so forth. Now she's a player in the game, much more capable. She does her detective work and so forth. They got a crazy angle here where they're kind of almost like, it's almost like they're trying to look up her skirt on this angle, the way they drew it, but she's wearing a long skirt, which was, it's in the 90s, they were pretty popular to have skirts that were like up to the knee. It's not like today where most of them are like really, really short. So it was okay. It didn't seem overly sexualized or anything like that, but the angle was just a little funny. Now that she found out the info where the disc is at and so forth, she goes to look for a Deadpool. But before she does, Slayback kidnaps her, and this guy just looks so menacing. Like he gets her, he's up to no good. He's gonna use her like collateral to trade her off for the disc to Deadpool. And right now, Deadpool's captured by this other team, right? These B-listers. Quickly takes care of him. He explodes one's head off, and he just stabs the other one in the gut. No problem, right? No problem. Now he goes to this armory because he has the disc. So now that info where the weapon's at, he goes to his armory to look for this ultimate weapon of mass destruction. Slayback follows him there, and they get into a big showdown. Fightings are pretty cool. While they're fighting, then Kane shows up too. So everybody starts showing up to this place at the same time as we kind of figured out all the stories meet up together for one epic fight scene. And it turns out the weapon comes to life. It's like an android, almost like a robot, right? So when the weapon comes to life, they're like, that's the big weapon, the powerful weapon. And there's a crazy twist here because this weapon is built to promote, it's the most powerful, deadliest weapon, but it's built, the AI in it, to promote peace, to stop the violence, right? So it has all these powers to kill and so forth, but it only uses them to stop fights and for everybody to get along. It only kills people that are a threat, that are like our villains, right? So Slayback's like, what a fucking piece of shit. He goes, so even if I steal this weapon, I can't use it because it's only used for self-defense reasons. So that was kind of crazy. Once the story ends where Deadpool beats Slayback, it makes it pretty clear to you because at this point, Deadpool's kind of new, so it makes it pretty clear Slayback is a villain. He's as bad as it gets. And Deadpool, he was kind of like a villain up to this point. For now, it shows us he's more like an anti-hero. He's not completely villainous. He's just not right in the head and he does things that are off, right? They're off the wall. And he'll kill and stuff for money, not because he has any like vendetta against anybody. He's not necessarily evil. He just does it because he has to make a living. That's the end of the issue. Doesn't carry a lot of substance, but all in all, it was a fun read, a lot of action. This Deadpool, I like there was a little bit of zaniness, some comedy, but it wasn't too slapstick like the newer Deadpool goes a little too crazy for me. It almost becomes a Bugs Bunny cartoon, and I'm not like digging that. Here, I guess this Deadpool, the early Deadpool years, I could still get behind him. He's still somewhat credible as a character. He's not just like a gimmick, if you will. It did seem like the artists try to throw all kinds of characters in here, as many as he could, to not really do much with them other than to use them for fight scenes. But it works because it kind of shows that so many people are after this new weapon. But it does add a little more when it's like more known villains. It's not just your average no name. All in all, it was a fun read. Hope you liked the video. If you did, go ahead and hit the like button. If you have read this before yourself, let me know in the comment section what you thought about it. And if you want to see more videos of more reviews, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. That way it'll keep you updated on your feed or notify you every time a new video is uploaded.